resolve this issue as adults in Montgomery County, but unfortunately, we were ignored, and with the support of this legal team, we're here today at this courthouse. And it could have been done much differently. But let's chant a little bit. We will prevail. We will prevail. We will prevail. We will prevail.
We will prevail.
So our next speaker is Ismail Royer. He's been a great help to us in the process, and he'd like to also give maybe some information about what's going to happen here. Give it up for Ismail.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of God, the most gracious, most merciful. So, as Wael said, we have been, the parents here have been struggling to get this very simple, reasonable request for months and months and months, over almost 2 years at this point. And it's really important to notice one thing, okay? To take notice of one thing. What these parents are requesting is simply the option to let their kids stay out of classes where the teachers are attempting to change their views on some very important matters that only parents really should be teaching their children about. Okay. Now, there's something really important that happened in this case. I was listening to some folks who were on the other side. This was a few months ago, and they were talking about their strategy for how they're going to oppose the parents in this case, how they're going to shut the parents down in this case. And they went to a constitutional scholar who is in a same-sex marriage. He's a Protestant, liberal Protestant in a same-sex marriage, but he's a scholar of the Constitution. And they went to him and they said, this is the side over there, and they said, can you please intervene and come in on our side and help us against those parents? And that man told them, he said, I have personally gone to Montgomery County Public Schools School Board and told them that they have to give those parents the right to opt out of these lessons. And what that reveals, so their attempt to enlist this constitutional scholar against the parents in this case fell flat. And what that highlights is that Montgomery County Public Schools has been captured by a very, very extreme position. It's a very extreme position. But even though it's an extreme position, people who hold that position have the right to have that position. You have that right, just as we have the right to hold our position. And the thing is that these folks, it's not their opinion that is that has no place in society. It does. But what has no place is their attempt to force other people to believe, to agree with them. We live in a society. And the reason that so many immigrant families came to America and are trusting the public schools with their children is that they believe in an America where the government does not try to force people to hold the opinions of the government. And these folks, God bless them, and may God guide them, they have decided that the correct approach is to seize the reins of government, to seize the reins of power, to force everyone to agree with their position. And now you can see what I say this without any animosity. I do not demonize our friends over there. But you can see what they're doing, and this is always what they have done at every protest all along, is to blast music as loud as they possibly can, not to create a party atmosphere, which is kind of what they seem like they want to do, but it's actually to drown out the voices here. They want to penalize parents who want to bring their kids out of those lessons. They want those parents to be charged with truancy. They want those parents to be punished. They want the government to crack down on those parents who disagree with their point of view. And now they don't want us to be heard. That's why they've got this cranked up as loud as they possibly can. And what I say to them, what I say to all of you over there who are over there with your talking about diversity, talking about inclusion, that why don't you include the parents who don't agree with you? Why don't you include us? folks over there who are blasting that music, if you can hear me, why don't you come over here and listen to a point of view that you disagree with? Why are you demonizing these parents? Why are you demonizing them? The role of the public school is to teach children how to love for other people what they would love for themselves. The role of public school is to teach children how to get along in a society where people have many different opinions. The role of the public school is not to force the government's preferred belief system on children. Once a child understands and knows how to live with people who he disagrees with, the public school has done its job. Now let that school get on with teaching math. Let that school get on with teaching English. That's the dream that immigrant parents came here for. They did not come here for paternalistic, white folks who are the ones who have led this, to impose their unique, specific liberal ideology, which is great. There are more power to them to have their ideology. That's wonderful. But the immigrant parents did not come here for their children, with the dream of success of their children and for the dream of passing on their values to their children. They did not come here to have an elite group impose that ideology on their children. And so I'll end there. We all know, I think, we can all hope and pray and expect that this decision is going to go our way. And it is not going to be some victory for any right-wing cause, and it's not going to be a loss for any left-wing so-called cause. What it's going to be is a victory for reasonableness and true pluralism, which is not part of the left or the right. It's part of what it means to be a decent, intelligent, reasonable human being. And thank you all for coming here, and let's pray for victory for the truth and reason.